Hello and good morning everybody. It is Sunday 12 o'clock in the afternoon and we are about to go to a place which is called Deidesheim. Deidesheim is located on the Weinstraße. It is near Mannheim and we're going there because there are two quite popular vineyards we are going to visit, so that's the plan for today. But before we leave, I actually want to show you, we bought a fig tree. And there already the first figs growing on our tree. I'm actually not quite sure about we're going to be able to eat those figs, but yeah, time will tell. So now we're heading to the car and then we're going to Deidesheim. So join us and yeah, hopefully we'll get some good wine. Okay, right now we are in Deidesheim and we already managed to visit two vineyards. We were at Jordan Bassermann and we were at von Winning. And what we bought there I'm going to talk about a little bit later when we are at home, so I can pick up the bottles and show you what we actually bought. Yeah, but now the plan is we want to grab some lunch because we're really hungry. The wine here is fantastic. Okay, this is really astonishing me because I really like our Rheingau near to Wiesbaden, where the wine is really fantastic, and I really love the Riesling there. It's really clean and structured and they do good wine there, but the wine here was like crazy fantastic. So now we are going to pick up some lunch. We saw some place passing by in our car which is located in a yard, so we want to go there and see if we can find something nice to eat there. Okay, we just had lunch in Deidesheim and now we decided to take a little walk in the vineyards here in Deidesheim. It's actually pretty nice here, sun is shining, but it's not so warm. For lunch we had kind of regional specialties. I had Saumagen, which sounds more disgusting than it actually is. It's actually pretty fantastic, a little bit like a sausage, which is then afterwards fried in a pan, and they made it with sauerkraut. Okay, that's now pretty German, but it was Riesling sauerkraut, so it was cooked with Riesling wine. The girls found a tree which has pears on it. Apparently the pears aren't ripe yet. Okay, we are now having a walk and enjoying the sight. Here you can see actually the vineyards, and here it is already the Riesling. Not ripe yet, but I think like in 2 months ready for the harvest and ready to get awesome wine. We bought some bottles. I will show you them today evening when we are at home, so that I can show you the bottles and tell you a little bit about them. In the meantime, why don't you join us and maybe you can enjoy the view a little bit. Okay, we are back from Deidesheim and I want to show you what we tried and what we actually bought. We went to vineyards or to wine cellars. No, vineyards is the correct word I want to use. Yeah, we visited 2 vineyards. The first one is called Dr. Bassermann-Jordan. They actually gave us this fancy box, so you can see the name. And okay, maybe I have to say that before we start with the wines themselves. We have this little wine guide. It's called Der kleine Johnson, the little Johnson. It's obviously a wine guide from somebody called Johnson. And this wine guide is actually pretty good if you want to find out about extraordinary or really famous vineyards in a certain region. So, for example, we decided that we want to go to the region Weinstraße and Deidesheim, and so I looked up in the book which of the vineyards are actually recommended, or which of these vineyards have something like a specialty or something which is out of the ordinary when it comes to wine. So we went there, and we went to this wine vineyard I told you about, and then we also to look it up. Oh, that's the. Is it the real one? Yeah, and then yes, exactly, and then we were at a second vineyard. They don't have the name on it, but which is called Von Winning. Really? Yeah, Von Winning, and the first vineyard we tried only Riesling. And I was really surprised because we tried two Riesling wines against each other. So the first of these Rieslings we tried was or came from a vineyard which is has limestone as a top layer or top soil. No, not top soil, top layer, which led to a really straightforward, more mineralic taste. And we kind of liked it, but then we tried the second one, and that's also the one we bought. This is called Ruppertsberger Reiterpfad, and that's the bottle. And this was really interesting because the ground was the topsoil was not from lime, but more from, we call it Buntsandstein. And the Buntsandstein really leads to a more versatile texture and taste, and it was really, you could really compare, was a really good idea to compare these both, because the first one, it was pretty straightforward, as I already mentioned, but you didn't have the taste so long in your mouth when you drank it. And this one, this actually stayed quite for a while, so this was pretty impressive. I'm really keen to actually drink the bottle because I had to drive today, so I only could like take a sip, and then I actually also spat it out because I don't want to build any or have any crash with the car. So that's the first wine we bought there, and then we also bought kind of a sweet wine. It's called Spätlese, and that's this one. It's also a Riesling, but actually kind of a sweet. And to this I have to say I'm not for the sweet wines. Actually, it's not so much my kind of thing. I'm more for the dry kind of wines. But there are two. But I make two exceptions from this rule, and maybe I would start with the first one. And the first exception is maybe this wine from Trimbach, because he makes a Gewürztraminer, but he makes a dry Gewürztraminer. Of course, it's still sweet because it's that kind of grape, so it still has a sweet taste in the finish. But it's not that overwhelming sweetness you usually know from Alsatian or maybe also German Gewürztraminers. So that's the one exception. We bought this last year on our trip to Alsace. And this is probably going to be the second exception because this was really had a really interesting nose. So when you took a little bit, when you nosed a little bit from the wine in the glass, it was a really interesting. It had a really interesting smell, kind of a little bit like the Gewürztraminer from Trumbach. And the sweetness was also not so overwhelming in the end. Still, it is a sweet wine. It's probably maybe a good dessert wine. Or it will probably go perfectly with foie gras or something like this. We're going to find that out. We bought two bottles of this. Yes, and then we went to the second vineyard, and the second vineyard was really a surprise. Okay, the second vineyard, that was actually really a surprise. We knew that vineyard before because we had a wine from them at a restaurant we went to with friends. That's actually how I got the name in the first place. I only couldn't remember where it was. And we had a Riesling, which was from, I think from the Paradiesacker. That was the terroir of that wine. And yeah, that was really a good wine. Tasted really, really amazing. And we went there to also try Riesling, but then we saw, okay, they have also red wine. And when it comes to German red wine, I'm kind of picky because on the one side I'm not so much a fan of Bordeaux or Rioja because they all have usually this barrique flavor which comes with a lot of vanilla, and I like to drink them from time to time, but not in the masses. So if I could choose, I probably would pick another wine, like maybe something from the Rhone or something. I don't know. And the red wines usually you get in Germany, they are kind of flat. So, or maybe I only have experienced such wines. They are probably maybe perfect for barbecue or something like that. So they're still fruity. They have some high acidity with them. But you don't have this taste which stays in your mouth for several seconds or maybe a minute afterwards you drank a sip of that wine. And we tried this Pinot Noir there. We first tried the Riesling, and the Riesling was really good. We were about to buy some bottles from the Ölberg, but we didn't do that because we tried that Pinot Noir, and they on the menu for the tasting they had 3, but 2 were already sold out. Actually, that were the most expensive bottles which were already sold out. So we took the Pinot Noir from 2012 and we tried it, and yeah, for me that was sensational because it had this really earthy, little bit mushroomy taste. I really like in Pinot Noir, and which I usually don't find in so many German red wines or Pinot Noir wines. So yeah, that was nice. And yeah, okay, we bought this and we bought 2 bottles of it. And Marina made me swear that I'm going to cook Bœuf de Bourgogne, and that we're going to drink that wine with the Bœuf de Bourgogne. And I hope that I won't, fuck that meal up, so that we have a decent wine with a really decent food. Probably doing that maybe next week or the week afterwards. So that was our trip to Deidesheim. I really can recommend it. Nice place, lovely city. You can have great food there. We had great food. Was totally perfect, really delicious. Not so far away from the Rhine-Main area. So we had maybe like an hour 10 with the car, or maybe an hour 15. People were pretty friendly, lucky weather. You can actually, what I would recommend, if you want to do a hike in the vineyards, do it before you buy the wine and have food. We did it the other way around, and that led to, it was like an alibi walk in the vineyards for maybe 20 minutes, and that was all. You could probably do better there. Okay, I'm ending the vlog for today. I hope you enjoyed it. I will put the links in the description to the both vineyards we went to. And I would totally recommend, if you're a little bit into wine and you want to try something out, go there. You will definitely enjoy it. And they are really kind, and the tasting is actually also possible on Sundays. So what else to do on Sundays than trying wine, huh? Okay, see you then, bye-bye, and if you didn't subscribe yet, subscribe. Bye.